Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Caregiver and Spoonie podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And let's get right into it. Today's going to be a good one again. Well, at least that's what I think, but I know they've been getting better. And thank you for listening, by the way. So, on today's episode, I have this question. This is something that, again, somebody has asked me before in the past. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a good episode about that. and and the question is, how do you build self-worth? Now this is very important because the way that you build your own self-worth is pretty much going to help you with your well-being. But one of the first things that I want to start with first is the definition of self-worth, because I didn't know what it was, honestly. I thought it meant something completely different, and once I actually found out the real meaning behind the word, I was like, okay, now it makes sense. And self-worth means a feeling that you're a good person who deserves to be treated with respect. Now, as you might have heard in my story, the way that I was raised, the way that I was treated, I didn't feel that I was worthy of anything. Like, my self-worth was literally like, and probably that's the reason why I never knew the meaning of the word, because I didn't have any self-worth. I thought that self-worth was something completely different that somebody else will give me, but I didn't see it on myself or in myself. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you, especially if you're a spoonie, you're gonna feel like that, because you're going through something, you're facing an illness, you're facing stress, you're facing all of this, and you just want to know that you're worthy of something. In this case, it could be love, it could be health, it could be money, it could be whatever you think that you actually want. You want to know that you're worthy of it. And one of the things that I remember, because of the way that I was raised and things that were said to me by my family, the way that I was treated, I was like, I don't deserve anything. That's one of the things that I actually felt like I'm not worthy of anything. Like, and I know that I talk about this a lot, but this is one of the things that probably started this issue with me. It's when my uncle said, like, hey, if you do good in school, I will take you to Disneyland, which by now I know, like I have mentioned before, he was lying. He was never going to be able to take me out of the country without my dad's permission, and my dad will never say yes to that. When I was little, after when I was able to move to the States, he changed his mind. But anyway, so he did that, and because of what he did, when I had good grades, I had an A minus, and he said, "Oh, you could have done better." I was like, "Okay, I'm not worthy of anything. I'm not worthy of having good things," and that's why sometimes in a lot of situations we just want things, thinking that we're worthy of it, but we just want, and sometimes we don't even use it. I think I have mentioned this before, where I bought a PlayStation that I barely use because I want it. I don't need it. I want it because I wanted to feel good about myself for having a PlayStation. I felt worthy of it, but it's like I don't need it. So that, I know that a lot of people are going through something like this, or you might feel the same way, but the thing is that that's not how you build self-worth. The way or here's one of the things that I was able to understand while doing the research, is that, at least in my perspective, for due to the way that I was raised, I believe that self-worth was like this: the appearance. So I thought that appearance was part of my self-worth, and this is what the research suggests. Whether measured by the number on the scale or the size of clothes, no, whether measured by the number on the scale, the size of clothing worn, or the kind of attention received by others. So we think that our appearance, we have to look good, we have to look skinny, we have to look like the Instagram model, we have to look like the bodybuilder, we have to look a certain way in order for us to have self-worth from others. We want to have like the expensive clothes, the Louis Vuittons, the Gucci and everything. And I know I used to do that. I used to buy like expensive clothes just so I can feel like I'm worthy of something, like, oh, I'm worthy of the attention, like everybody can be like, oh, he has money, or he can buy nice stuff for himself. But that's not the case. I know a lot of friends that actually do that. That's why I wanted to talk about that. The next thing that I found when it comes to this is that your net worth. And this can mean income, material possessions, financial assets, or all of the above. A lot of people, including myself, I always felt like the more money I will have, the more worthy I will get to have new nice things. And that's not the case, because the thing with money or any material asset, like let me give you this example with the iPhone. You get the new iPhone 12. What's gonna happen next year, or a few months after? There's gonna be a new iPhone, so you're gonna want the next iPhone and the next iPhone and the next iPhone. So you will never be able to catch up to anything that is either material or money, because money technically is just a number. You have $1,000, that's just $1,000 bills. But then somebody else is gonna have more, then you just want to have more because the other person has more than you, so you want to feel worthy of having more, and then you're just gonna push yourself. You can cause yourself to burn out. You can at your job or something, or you're gonna get stressed because probably you don't have the skills or you don't have the knowledge to increase your wealth. Like that's one of the things that has happened to me. But that's why I like reading, because one of the things that Elon Musk says, the reason why I'm so wealthy and I'm able to do all these things is because I read books. I learn from books. And that's why I like to read. This is just something that I wanted to say. Now, another thing that we think, or at least I thought it will increase my self-worth, is who you know on your social circle. Like, some people judge their own value and the value of others by their status and what important and influential people they know. So this is what happens on Facebook, on Instagram, and everything like that. The more followers you have, you feel more worthy. But that's not how it should be. Because again, you're just chasing a number. You're not chasing people. You're just chasing a number. You can have 10,000 followers, but you don't talk to any of them. You can have like 1 million followers, but you don't talk to any of them. And then you do something that your followers or the people on Facebook don't like. And what's going to happen? They're going to attack you. Then your self-worth is pretty much limited to what they think of you. That's one of the things. So that's why I don't care how many followers I have. I do want to increase the numbers, the number on the community, because I want everybody to feel welcome. I want everybody to not feel alone. That's pretty much my main goal. I'm not chasing followers or just a number. I'm actually chasing the people that need help. If you're feeling alone or anything like that, that's why I always say, like, let's make this grow, because there are people out there with everything that's going on. There's people out there that feel alone, and I don't want anybody to feel alone, because I know what that feels like. Now, the other thing that I guess in my mind made me feel a certain way about my self-worth was it's either what you do or what your career is. We often judge others by what they do. For example, a stockbroker is often considered more successful and valuable than a janitor or a teacher. And that's so true. You have all these people, like, there's places that I have worked at where the executives, they're like, I'm an executive, you have to treat me with respect. And they treat others with like no respect at all. But that's not how it should be, because in the end, unless you're the CEO or the owner, you're pretty much dispensable, especially with everything that's going on right now. Like, I've seen companies that they're firing and they're letting like top executives go because they're not receiving any income, so they have to cut costs. So once you have to cut costs in a company, you're dispensable. So just think about that. And if you feel like just because you have a job, a nice job or something like that, your self-worth is going to increase, it's not. But that's up to you to determine, not up to me. I'm just telling you what I see from my perspective. And another thing is, like, sometimes you're gonna build your own self-worth, and this is the most important point. That's why I left it for the end. It's about what you achieve. As noted earlier, we frequently use achievements to determine someone's worth, whether it's our own worth or someone else's, such as success in business, scores on the SATs, or placement in a marathon, or the other athletic challenges or other athletic performances. And this happens a lot. Like, for example, with me, I can only talk about my own experience. Like, where I felt after what happened with my uncle and the Disneyland trip and how he lied and everything, I felt like I need to always achieve. I had to be an overachiever pretty much. And if I didn't overachieve, I will feel so bad about myself. But then when I moved to the States, that changed because I didn't really know the language, and I started hanging out with the wrong people, and I didn't really care. And I know that that's something that my uncle hated about me, but it's like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So it doesn't really matter what you achieve, because once you achieve it, somebody else is gonna try to outdo you. So it doesn't matter. Like, don't base your self-worth in your achievements. The way that I see it now, with me at least, is that I'm not gonna base my self-worth on my achievements, but on the process of learning to get to that achievement. Like, where I'm learning to achieve this, where I'm learning to achieve that. Like, all of this, like as you can see, and even I can feel it. I can hear myself talking a little bit better. So I'm like, that's an achievement for me, because when I started the podcast, I was just ranting most of the time, but now I'm getting more eloquent, I guess. So one of the things that you have to do is that you have to understand that pretty much what you explained, some of the steps that I explained, that's not the right way to build your self-worth. You have to build your self-worth in a way that makes you feel good about what you're doing, not about what others say about you, what others think about you, but it's about you. This one is about you, and just because you're thinking about you, that doesn't make you selfish. Let's make sure of that. Now, when you actually find a good way to build your self-worth, no matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening to you, no matter what happened to you in the past, you're gonna actually increase your self-understanding. So you're gonna be able to understand yourself more. You're gonna boost your self-acceptance. You're gonna accept the way that you are more. You're gonna enhance your self-love. You're gonna love yourself more. You're gonna recognize your self-worth, obviously. And one of the things that is so true, and that this is one of the things that I started doing, is you start taking responsibility for yourself. You start taking responsibility for your own mistakes, for what you say, for what you do. And once you understand that you're human, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to say something that might have come out the wrong way because you didn't know how to explain it. But as long as you understand that, you know what, I made a mistake, and you're willing to correct it, and you're willing to explain it, and you're willing to say, like, you know what, I'm wrong, that actually is gonna give you a new way of understanding that maybe the way that you were raised, maybe the way that you're saying things is not the right way. And that actually builds self-worth, because somebody might be able to tell you, okay, I won't say it that way, I will say it this way, so everybody doesn't get offended. Obviously, there's always going to be people that are going to get offended no matter what, but that's not up to you. As long as you're not doing it to hurt, you're doing it to express yourself the only way that you can, and you take responsibility for that, and then you take the necessary steps to change that, and then that actually builds self-worth, at least for me. I don't know about you, but hey, I'm just letting you know what's going on in this side of the screen, right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today, about self-worth, because it's very important, especially with everything that's going on right now. And if you're a Spoonie and you're not able to go out, you might feel like you're not worthy of going out because you might get sick. You might have an underlying condition that might actually make you more susceptible to have like bad symptoms of COVID or anything like that. So I don't want you to feel like that, because that's not the way that you should be feeling. If you have an underlying condition that can be aggravated because of COVID or anything like that, you have to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, obviously you can get sick, and obviously things can get worse. But don't put yourself down. Try to build your self-worth, because in the end, it's actually going to help you, and it can help you actually push yourself forward to feel better, even though you might not get the right treatments or anything like that. But that's pretty much what I wanted to say, to talk about today on today's episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the new listeners. Thank you for the new followers on the page and on the community. And don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and also let's make this grow. So like I've been saying, like, I don't want anybody to feel alone. Any Spoonie out there that is feeling like they can keep fighting. There's a community out there. It's the Caregiver and Spoonie community. That's why I like to I keep saying, like, don't forget to share with your friends, your family, anybody that you know, because we want to make this grow. This is for everybody. I don't want anybody to feel like this is only for a specific type of people. It's not. This is for everybody. No matter what you're going through, you're a Spoonie or a caregiver, either way. And sometimes you're going to be as a caregiver and a Spoonie yourself. And also don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And that's pretty much it for today. And like always, as always, take care of yourself and have a good day.